And does Portland want to have nice things?
Yeah, that's the question being asked in the Rose Quarter right now as lawmakers look to raise hundreds of millions of dollars to renovate the Moda Center. How they plan to make the upgrades at no extra cost to taxpayers.
And we're also talking about yet another case of unspent money turning up in Portland. This time it's $8.5 million from the city's arts tax, while local artists say that tax hasn't been paying out as much money in recent years either.
And later this hour, we're talking about the marketing behind the Olympics, why brands are willing to shell out the big bucks to become a partner of the games. That story coming up in just a bit as your News at Sunrise starts right now.
Speaking of the Olympics, we start this hour with a live look from our Olympic flame camera that you can see kind of just under the arch there. It's there, we promise you.
It's there. It's just itty bitty.
And we're here.
Hey, good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Tuesday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Matthew Herchik. Glad you're starting your morning with us. Rod Hill and Chris McGinnis are standing by with a look at the weather and traffic. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Yesterday we were tracking showers in the area. We are all dry this morning. Minus there are fog pockets around, maybe a little bit of mist being reported in some of those areas. Salem, so far, not really reporting fog. Now, that can change between now and, say, the 8 o'clock hour. We'll see. You've been holding at 40 degrees. It is a low overcast. Here's one of the foggier spots, but it's one of the first times this morning that we can actually make out the interstate bridge. But again, these fog banks kind of, thicken and then go the other way, and then they re-thicken. 38 is your number. And here's some fog up in the West Hills. This is our Oregon Zoo camera where it's 39 degrees. So we're above freezing, but chilly start. We'll go upper 30s at the bus stop. And then once we lose the fog, it's a partly to mostly sunny day. Most of us will have light winds. We'll be approaching 50 at noon. I have us in the mid-50s when the kids get out of school this afternoon. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. We pick it up with a Primate alert over on the west side. So we're hearing from Primate of a situation involving a Max train colliding with a car out near the Hillsborough Health Complex near 10th and Washington. No word on any injuries, but it sounds like things are rolling again, but expect delays up to 20 minutes through 6:30 on the Max Blue Line. All right, back to your freeway drive. We had some earlier issues in North Portland. The on-ramp from Marine Drive to northbound I-5 looks like it's reopened after that overnight crash had that closed for several hours. The rest of the freeway drive, it's getting busier out there, but guys, as we look at the drive times, we're still in pretty good shape. I don't have any major freeway trouble out there right now. Back to you.
Chris, thank you. Developing this morning, both the city of Portland and the state appear to be ponying up in an effort to keep the Trailblazers in Portland.
Yeah, lawmakers are unveiling a plan to raise hundreds of millions of dollars for a major facelift of the Moda Center. That's where we find Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz. All right, Thomas, bring us up to speed on the latest here.
Yeah, guys, there's a lot of moving parts here, and I want to start first with the state of Oregon. Yesterday, State Senate President Rob Wagner proposed legislation that would allow the state to own the Moda Center with the city of Portland. Currently, the city is the sole owner. The bill would create a funding plan for the $600 million Moda Center renovations that the Blazers' new ownership group is asking for. This comes after we reported the city of Portland is also considering an investment package of $365 million. They put that in place last week. That's only valid if the Blazers sign a new 20-year lease agreement, though. The current lease is set to expire in 2030, leaving fans watching the situation closely.
I think it's important for our city's identity to have this.
I'd be disappointed if they do leave, definitely. But yeah, I think they'll pony up. I think there's enough players involved that they can find the money.
The new ownership group, led by Carolina Hurricanes owner Tom Dundon, is worth billions of dollars, leaving some people to ask, why do they need city and state money?
Right now, I think it's a lot of smoke and a lot of leverage. I think the Blazers stay here. I think the state does the right thing. I think the city right now has got open arms, and the state does as well.
And sports columnist John Canzano, who you just heard from there, also says that, look, a great way to keep the Blazers in place, along with these Moda Center renovations, is also sprucing up the Rose Quarter, adding things like attractions and restaurants to the area. Now, the city, Multnomah County, and state are all on the same page here. In a joint statement, they say that keeping the Blazers here in the Rose City is a top priority. China, Matthew.
Thomas Schultz reporting live this morning. Thomas, thank you. Meanwhile, the city of Portland appears to have discovered another reserve of unspent taxpayer money. This time, a committee overseeing the arts tax says $8.5 million have gone unspent since the city started collecting the money. The arts tax, that is the annual $35 fee most Portlanders have to pay. It's meant to support art teachers and local art nonprofits. According to the report, the leftover money largely comes from the first year of tax collections. The city says state budget law requires them to maintain sufficient reserves. Still, local organizations say they've noticed the money they get has dropped in recent years.
It's a bit of a shock. I think that everybody is happy that there is more funding to help buffer for a plan for the future to help support the arts and culture organizations in a more long-term solution. But I think that there is some concern about why we didn't know this prior to this.
I mean, there's just so many amazing organizations that are still struggling. To know that that money may be accessible is a great thing.
The city's Office of Arts and Culture says it's been in ongoing discussions since last spring on how to manage the reserves. That includes dipping into them to give out more money to keep the Arts Access Fund going.
The amount of unspent housing money that keeps being discovered inside Portland City Hall is now adding up to more than $100 million. It's money meant for things like affordable housing, homelessness, and rent assistance. And this morning we're hearing from the man in charge of city finances.
This is a key component in building trust and transparency with the public with what's happening right now as it relates to the housing fund. But this is just the beginning.
You can watch more from our interview with the city administrator, including why he's not ruling out the possibility that there's even more money sitting unreported inside City Hall. You can find that on our KGW YouTube channel or streaming on KGW Plus.
And everything that we do as a Primate Center is moving towards a future where non-human primates are not used.
Following years of controversy, the future of the Oregon National Primate Research Center is looking more certain. The OHSU Board of Directors voted in favor of a resolution to open conversations about turning the research center in Hillsborough into a primate sanctuary. The vote followed hours of emotional public testimony on the impact of the center. Some shared stories of how the facility impacted their lives, emphasizing the importance of the center and the research it does. Others, such as animal rights groups like PETA, say the research being done on primates is outdated.
The only research we do at the Primate Center is research that has to be done in non-human primates or human subjects.
We've moved beyond using monkeys in experiments for science. There are more human relevant methods we can be using, and today is really just part of the move to start investing in those human relevant technologies. And
OHSU will negotiate with the National Institutes of Health on the next steps for transitioning into a sanctuary, though keep in mind nothing is a done deal yet. It's just the start of the process.
The time now is 6:08. We are taking a live look from our Oregon Zoo Skycam. A lot of fog out there this morning. I can't even tell if there are goats. Are the goats awake? Probably not.
They could be right behind you. Maybe, oh, they're behind you, China.
Nope, he's right here.
I am the goat.
No, he's not.
No, I'm not.
We do have a fog advisory up. I think it's posted until 9 this morning. It's not foggy everywhere, but you may encounter some dense fog pockets on your trip in. Outside of the potential mist with fog, we are all dry this morning. This is cloudiness coming up from the south, and we think generally moving forward, that's thin cloudiness, and we're kind of partly to mostly sunny after we lose the morning fog. No fog up on the mountain. Here's Timberline Lodge, 26 degrees. That new 14 inches of snow that fell Sunday into Monday morning up there on the ground and staying with that temperature. You can tell it's foggy here. That's the lights of the Moda Center, but clearly foggy in Portland. 38 degrees is the number out at PDX this morning. Other temperatures, so far we've been holding above freezing, but we're close. Hillsborough, 33. Westland, though, 39, and most of us are 36 to 40. There's 39 in Aurora and 40 degrees in Salem and Albany this morning. The dry weather map this afternoon with the fog gone, kind of partly to mostly sunny. If anything, you'll find more cloudiness to the south and more sun to the north. Tillamook 57, still some very mild temps. 50s up and down I-5, 48 at 4 o'clock in Bend, so perhaps hitting 50 for a high, and then you've got 40s out across the east. We are now dry outside of mist with morning fog banks all the way through the day, Thursday and Thursday night. 54 today, mid-50s tomorrow. Friday is when showers return. The first front is weak, and then we've got, I think it's raining more than it's not, both on Saturday and on Sunday, and I've got temperatures down into the mid-40s, and that is your update.